Here's what's making news now around Indiana. Indiana's manufacturing jobs took a dip through the first 11 months of 2019. Our partners at WFYI report the state lost nearly 8,000 manufacturing jobs through November. According to that report, Indiana hasn't lost more manufacturing jobs than it added over a calendar year since 2009. Governor Eric Holcomb says the numbers he feels are reflective of a changing economy, adding that Indiana remains among the most manufacturing intensive states in the nation. South Bend-based AM General has been awarded a more than $15 million contract from the U.S. Department of Defense. The DoD says the contract calls for hardware support to reset and upgrade a fleet of high-mobility multi-wheeled vehicles, and it will be performed in Amman, Jordan. The project slated for completion in December. Gary, Chicago International Airport has reached a major milestone. The airport officially celebrating the 100th international flight at its General Aviation and Customs and Border Protection facility. That facility allows travelers to visit the airport without first needing to clear customs at other locations. Since opening in the fall of 2018, officials say the facility is averaging about 8 international flights per month. Well, the Indiana Retail Council is a nonprofit trade association that for nearly 60 years has been the voice for the state's retail community. And with the retirement of longtime President Grant Monahan, the organization begins the new year with new leadership. I'm pleased to be joined by the new executive director of the Indiana Retail Council, Melissa Coxey. And Melissa, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
And this literally is your first day on the job.
It is literally
brand new. Well, interesting. You have an interesting background. Most recently came from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, serving as legal counsel there. You practiced law at Bose, McKinney, and Evans, also commissioner of the Indiana Alcohol and Tobacco Commission. So your background makes a lot of sense for this position. What attracted you to this position to lead the Retail Council?
So I've actually done work with the Retail Council previously, and one of the things I love about working with Indiana retailers is it's the perfect intersection between my professional and personal life. I'm a mom, and as a mom, I can tell you that Indiana retailers impact our lives in such
profound ways.
Profound
really,
ways, that's right, that's right.
And I think that's reflective too, as we were talking off camera, of the types of membership you have, the types of retail. When you're talking about the Indiana Retail Council, talk about the different sectors or the different kinds of retailers that you represent.
We represent the largest chain nationwide retailers from across the country. But you know, in Indiana, we Hoosiers are lucky because we are innovators, and so we have lots of members that are individual retailers around the state.
You touch on and represent retailers on a wide variety of issues. Sunday sales, alcohol sales, one of the big high-profile issues that is reflective of the kinds of issues that you get active in.
That's absolutely right. The Indiana Retail Council was instrumental in that initiative at the State House.
Yeah. As you look at, I mentioned Grant Monahan in the open there, the longtime leader, I think 4 decades in a leadership role at the Indiana Retail Council. He has certainly left his mark on the organization that you're now taking over.
For sure.
Yeah.
Grant has incredibly big shoes to fill. He has done an amazing job telling the story of Indiana retail. We know that there is more of a story to tell, and that's why I would like to reach out across the state to smaller retailers that traditionally have not had a voice at the State House and get them involved in policy in a way they maybe haven't in the past.
No big issues out there. It's a short session of the legislature, so not really big issues. But as you mentioned, which I think is interesting, is that mix of large retailers and the smaller retailers, and giving all of those retailers a voice.
That's absolutely right. I think that there are so many innovators out there, retailers across the state of Indiana, that can be brought to the table and have a voice with respect to their regulation.
Final question, we'll have about 20 seconds, but the importance of the retail industry, that sector of the economy, is really big. I think people don't really think about it that much, but is an important part of the Indiana economy.
Retailers are the #1 employers throughout the state of Indiana.
All right. The new head of the Indiana Retail Council, Melissa Coxey. Melissa, thanks for joining us. Look forward to having you on the show again in the future.
Great. Thanks so much.
All right.